Alright, there we go. I just got done riding the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650, comparing it with the Moto Morini Calibro. Overall, the bike that I liked riding better, was more engaging to me, was actually the... Welcome to MCC Just Motos. The Moto Morini Calibro is the new middleweight cruiser on the block. It's an Italian-styled and designed 700cc 68 horsepower cruiser. While it may be new, the company itself is one of the oldest brands in the world. I just rode it and walked away impressed. Check out my full video here, also with a link in the description. The Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650 came out a year prior and builds on its tried and true 650cc engine. That cruiser bike makes a lot less horsepower than the Calibro. How do they stack up back to back against each other? And most importantly, which one would I pick? Hop a leg over with me and hear my real world thoughts while we compare. Okay guys, here we are, round 2, the Super Meteor 650. It did rain, sorry, that looks a little wet. You can see it's a very classic and very similar style to the Calibro. Forward controls, parallel twin, but this one is a 270, I believe, about 45 horse, is it? I think it's that. So, yep, forward controls, raked back handlebars. Again, single disc up here, Bibri, which is a subsidiary Brembo. This has the upside down forks, non-adjustable, adjustable for compression, I believe, on the rears. Alright, 2 exhausts. Let's get on it. I'll tell you how I feel. Again, I'm wet, sorry. Just off the bat, they feel pretty similar heft-wise. This is a little more firmer seat. It does have the tripper navigation, which I've used before, and standard turn signal. I think the switch gear looks pretty good. I don't know which one I'd give the better switch gear. Fit and finish is pretty good. If you twist my arm just off the bat, well, I think the style and the look of this has some things that are, to me, look a little more classic and better than the Calibro. I think the fit and finish on the Calibro might actually take the cake there. You get the analog feature and nav, so let's hear it. Real starting simple. Actually, let's hear the motor. This was quiet too. Look at that, that's cool. Alright, this one does sit a little taller. I'm flat footing, but barely. Let's give it for a spin, so let's go. Feet forward, I got some gas. And we're on the way. Alright, so I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I think this engine is smoother and has more power. It feels that way. I've ridden this in the INT 650 and the Continental GT, and right off the bat, this engine is smoother power and it has more power. It feels that way. Is that the case? I don't know. This is not as snatchy a throttle, and it feels very smooth. There is no windscreen here, but the air is cleaner. There is still some vibration in the foot pegs, but not as much. Not much in the seat. It is a harder seat. This feels a little wider. I think the riding position is about the same. The connectedness of the throttle is apparent to me. So this throttle feels more connected and it feels more sporty. The suspension feels a tiny bit more compliant, and the brakes are definitely a lighter pull and a stronger pull. So I don't have to push as hard to get to the brakes. So the turn-in's quicker, but it's like, it's a taller bike, so to get over the hump, you have to like lean it more. Yeah, it feels like there's almost like a lean to get over the hump on the turn-ins. So that's kind of interesting to me. I like this engine. This engine is nice. It's a responsive engine. It's stronger in the mid-range for sure. It might not be as strong at the bottom, but I think that's more, I don't know, it feels, you know, it's just smoother, so it might not feel as strong, but I think it is if you actually look on the numbers. It feels taller, so it's not quite as low to the ground, but the suspension soaking up the bumps good, and it is a much quicker turn in. It's a narrower tire. The Calibro is a little more stable, and this is a little more agile. This tends to go a little bit more on the agile side of the house than the Calibro. and it works in conjunction nicely with the motor, which is much eager to rev throughout its rev range. So there's a little more liveliness to this one. Is this comfy? Sure. Is it more comfy? There's less vibe. I like the seat on the Calibro better. This is a firmer seat. This might be better, but the seating position almost feels very similar. This is a taller bike, and I feel that. The brakes, especially the back brake, is much a better feel. The front brake's lighter, and the back brake is lighter. This has a little bit of pop to it. Because this is a livelier feel, I have to pay attention a little bit more to placement in the road. That's okay. It adds to the engagement. There is no tachometer here, so I wish I would know what my RPMs are, but you can't hear it. Yeah, the mid-range really punches nicely here. I think this is where the sweet spot is for this motorcycle, is the mid-range. And because the brakes are, you can feel them better, you might be able to push this one a little quicker. It's still solid enough, still feels solid on the road in twists and turns. The shifters are, this one's a little bit heavier pull on the shifter on the foot. Getting a grin here. Guys, I feel like I could wheelie this. Not on the downhill though. Alright. Fun times. Yeah, you can feel the front end, you can feel the engine. The vibes are more related to the driving than just the vibration of the motor on this one. I think you guys can kind of guess where I'm leaning towards right now. It's going to be dependent on what your preferences are. If you like the looks and the style, obviously they're drastically different looking. If you like that low end grunt, and I think the price point might be a little cheaper on the Calibro, I'll put it on the screen. If it was, you know, $1,000 or $2,000 cheaper, then you might be considering it, right? If you like the just rote stability and the absolute seat comfort and the fit and finish, you might go for the Calibro. To me, this is a little bit more engaging of a motorcycle. I'm going to give the nod to the Royal Enfield on what I would choose. I'll wrap up my final thoughts back at Gearhead. Alright, there we go. I just got done riding the Royal Enfield Super Meteor 650, comparing it with the Moto Morini Calibro. Overall, the bike that I liked riding better, was more engaging to me, was actually the Super Meteor 650. There's a lot to like about the Calibro. I think overall the fit and finish might take the cake. There is some good fit and finish on the Royal Enfield, but a lot of special touches on the Calibro. Again, the motor was really what sold it, and the chassis was more lively to me. That's more kind of laid back, cruisery feel, just riding it. Price wise, that's price independent. I'll have to put the price, if it's a $2,000 difference, who knows, then I might change my mind. That's fatter tires, that is skinnier tires, that really kind of set a lot of the differences there. You actually feel like you're more in this one and more on that one. That one, even though they look about the same seat height, is definitely wider, and you get a much taller seat height when you get it. All right, guys, what would you pick? What questions you have, drop a comment below. Thank you, huge thank you to Gearhead Junction and that guy right there. That's Terry, the owner of Gearhead Junction. Demo day, really cool Royal Enfield, Moto Morini, Cove, and all sorts of different motorcycles. More to ride. Please like and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next episode. I'm about to take the Shotgun 650